How do you support yourself when you're transforming your sexuality
Into what?
into something new? Whether you're leaving kink or entering kink or exploring poly or might be gay or decided you want to date someone of the opposite gender now.
Mm-hmm. Or you're gay and now you want to, yeah.
That's
what
what I
you
said.
What she said.
This is Reid from readaboutsex.com.
And it's Cathy Bartilli from the intimacydojo.com.
And that can be a really confusing time. I remember when I was first coming out, I felt like my whole world, this is back in the really early 90s.
90s were confusing anyway.
Yeah, they were. But there wasn't a lot of support in general. Like, it was very frowned upon to be gay, and I just felt very lost, and my identity was shifting. So I did feel like I needed more support, and I wasn't sure how to do it for myself, how to take care of myself.
Well, luckily and unluckily, we've got the interwebs these days, so people can find out if there are people like you out there with some Google searches.
Yeah.
Challenges are sometimes those Google searches turn up not the best information, which can add to confusion as well. So the good news is if you know what you're looking for, or you're running into videos like this, hopefully that are actually helping rather than harming, then you don't feel so alone.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of support, right?
Yeah. I think also giving yourself time. Like, I felt like, okay, I know that I like kissing women. I must be gay. Therefore, I should be in a relationship now. Like, I didn't really want to give myself time to adjust to the change in my, like, what I believed about myself. So giving yourself some time to let yourself just be with the new feelings and let your brain kind of adjust to, oh, I'm different than I thought I was. That can be really useful. Just being gentle with yourself and giving yourself some time rather than if you're suddenly exploring BDSM, going in and thinking you have to do the hottest scene with the most intensity in the dungeon.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would read that sounds like just baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby steps, giving yourself room and space to explore, to try things and not have to like them, to try things and not be good at them, to know that you're just turned on by stuff and that you don't have to try it. Not everything that turns you on do you have to actually check off your bucket list. Like, there's a lot of erotic mileage you can get out of just being present with the things that turn you on and never wanting to do it.
Yeah, and there can be a sense of grieving, whether you're entering into say you're entering the BDSM scene or you're leaving it. You decided it's not for you anymore. You may have identified in a certain way, you have feelings about yourself and kind of like, I'm proud that I was able to do that or whatever. There can be a sense of grieving when you decide that, that's not what I want to do, or I want to leave vanilla behind, whatever it is. And giving yourself some time and acknowledgement for that, and letting your friends know, hey, I need extra support. Using your words can be really helpful.
And the only time that becomes challenging is when what you're going through is actually falling under things you need for whatever reason to keep private. And so there, I would advocate for getting professional support, hiring somebody who's a professional listener, somebody who's really good at not judging you, so that you can figure out what it is that you need before you go public with things. And then also understanding, as you get older, you usually start to then build up this I change over time.
Humans change.
There are things that I thought I would never stop doing when I was, a teenager that now I'm kind of not into anymore. But back when I was a teenager, it was my life.
Yeah.
Or when I was in my early 20s or 30s or 40s. And so understanding that your sexuality can be like that, and there are things that you might just, literally are phases, but not in a degrading way, but just this was the thing I was into. I was into, Air Supply back in the 90s, and now I don't really listen to Air Supply anymore. Air Supply was a really well-known band for those of you who... I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you.
And one thing I noticed was, when I realized I was bisexual, I'd fought really hard to find lesbian community. And I'd fought really hard. I'd put a lot of effort into meeting people and being part of that community. And at that time, it was really not acceptable to be bisexual. And so I lost a lot of that community, and that was really hard for me, when I started talking about it. realizing that you may not be able to source support from the people that you currently have in your life for this can be really, like, it can be challenging because it's really natural to want to have that connection with people you already know. But if you're part of a kink community, saying suddenly, like, hey, I'm not sure I want to be kinky anymore, like, I'm not sure that's my self-expression right now, some people may not get that.
Yeah.
And so you may need to reach out outside of the community to find the support that you want. And that's okay. It's challenged right when you're feeling challenged anyway, but just knowing, giving yourself permission and being aware of that can make it a lot easier.
And I think at some points too, like, looking at the things that you're into in sex as hobbies, like, these are my interests, and that interests change, and not making a particular flavor or niche of your sexuality your end-all, be-all identity. Now, there are some people where they're just 24/7 this thing, and that's a really big deal for them. Yeah. And it's really congruent to who they are. Yeah. But for a lot of us, like, there's just a lot of things that we are, and some more than others sometimes. Some kind of circle back around. Some, you know, like with me in martial arts, that was a big part of my life when I was a teenager and in college. I've been inactive in that community for a long time. So it's not really a part of my life anymore. Does that mean that it was a lie?
No.
So, you know, but some people in sexuality will be like, what? You're leaving this community? Yeah. You were never one of us. Yeah. And just understand that that's their stuff going on. And some of it might be that they really liked having you around, and now they're just sad that you're leaving, and they don't know how to express it with more grace.
Yeah. So if you can, just be really gentle with yourself, get the support you need, and take baby steps through this. It will get easier.
Yeah. And then leave comments. Ask questions. This was a good question. Good job, question giver.